As a breakfast TV presenter, we get first dibs, obviously, on all the big events happening overseas overnight. And 8 times out of 10, it's bad news. There's sadly lots of doom and gloom, lots of death and destruction we have to report on each and every morning. And I tell you, honestly, some mornings it is quite challenging presenting death tolls and terror attacks and society, reporting on society is ripped apart by tensions and hatred. But in doing so, every morning it just reinforces to me how lucky I am and how lucky we all are living in a relatively cohesive, inclusive, harmonious country, and also having lived around Australia. I'm a Sydney boy, and I say how lucky I am to be living in cohesive, harmonious and inclusive Melbourne. It is a much more liberal city in more ways than one. Picking up on Ahmed's point about unconscious bias, sadly still very much the case for some organisations. I can only speak about what we're doing at the ABC. We do acknowledge that as the national broadcaster we need to reflect the fact that Australian society is changing. We need to reflect 21st century Australian society, and that is reflected in our hiring. We are much particularly conscious of hiring people that reflect our society, and I can only speak for my show, and we are particularly conscious in our guest selection on having a very diverse array of not so much daily news guests, but regular contributors, regular hosts, slightly more diverse than Sunrise, but we're all making our little footsteps as we can. I like to joke, in fact, that we gave Waleed Ali his great start in journalism because some of you might recall Waleed began reviewing newspapers on News Breakfast pre-Gold League, many years ago, and he still appears on various ABC programs. And Susan Carmel, his wife, is a regular and much welcomed guest on our show on a regular basis. I also like to just finally pick up on what Ahmed was saying about how Ramadan has been such, or is now such a fixture in Australian society. My son plays under 15s for the mighty Altona Vikings. They're not doing so well this season, but they put on the boots and run out every week. And we have this great young Lebanese-Australian boy, Abdul, fantastic midfielder, really promising footballer. There was a game a couple of Sundays ago. It was a 4 o'clock bounce down. Very fast-paced game. The kids were sweating. I was running water, and Ahmed, as a Muslim, obviously being Ramadan, couldn't take any water. Was struggling, really struggling, sweating. My hand was almost reaching out to give him water, but he knew he couldn't do that, and I knew I couldn't do that. And it was so uplifting to see all of his teammates, and we have a fairly diverse array of backgrounds in our team, get behind him. Abdul, it's 15 minutes to go. You can do it. We're with you. Abdul, it's 10 minutes to go. Abdul, water's overrated anyway. And that right there encapsulates me how great our society is. So that's the way our kids, our 14 and 15-year-old boys and girls, just, without blinking an eyelid, are living in this cohesive, multicultural society. This great society of ours can go from strength to strength in the years to come. Ahmed, thank you very much for your invitation, and as a fellow breakfast warrior, I'd like to praise Nathan for his outstanding sterling MC work as well. So thank you.